all sorts of ways. But no matter how they Caribbean, they all like to Caribbean with the best. For the 12th year in a row, Royal Caribbean has not only been voted best cruise line in the Caribbean, but best cruise line overall. And with our fantastic BOGO Wild sale, book now and get 50% off your second guest. Plus, you can even get more money to spend on board, proving that the only way to Caribbean is with Royal Caribbean. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN today.
The officers and staff of Royal Caribbean Cruise Line invite you to join them for 7 days of absolute perfection. RSVP, your local travel agent. Don't just cruise the Caribbean, cruise the Royal Caribbean.
When three world champions face off in intense competition, you never know what can happen. Royal Caribbean International is proud to present the Caribbean Cup Challenge, featuring Gabby Douglas.
Totally went the wrong way. I should stick to gymnastics.
Tom Daly.
My hands are shaking.
And Ian Thorpe.
I'm a turkey. Are we revealing that?
Go to Royal Caribbean's YouTube page to get exclusive content and watch the competition unfold.
At Royal Caribbean, our ships are designed for wow.
Get a good feeling, yeah.
Royal Caribbean ships are also designed for the best of Broadway. Royal Caribbean is the only cruise line with Tony Award-winning shows. Our biggest sale of the year starts tomorrow. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN.
Something we all need to know. If you want to keep that healthy glow, remind your friends in courteous terms. Let's spread the word and not the germs. Wash your hands, it's the right thing to do. It's easy when you only have to. Wash your hands, keep them clean, oh yeah. Hey, hey, wash your hands. But if you find you're not feeling well, like too many trips around the carousel, call call the doctor, that's what you do. The doc will take good care of you, and you'll feel better too. Wash your hands and make your mother proud, and maybe you can join the popular crowd. Wash your hands like 50 times a day, oh yeah. Hey, hey, wash your hands. Wash your hands.
So, ladies and gentlemen, time to get your cameras ready. For the last and final time, please welcome to the stage with, until we meet again, the Royal Caribbean singers and dancers. Gentlemen, our time together is drawing close to an end. We've had 5 glorious days with you here on board the Legend of the Seas. Our holiday, Merry Christmas everybody, Happy Hanukkah. You know what? From the minute you came on board the ship, we had 752 crew members working in all the different areas around the ship, serving you over the last 24 hours, every 24 hours for the last 5 days. As we turn up the lights, we're making our way in here, led in by our hotel director, our associate hotel director, representing all the various departments. One team with you here on board the beautiful Legend of the Seas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from your team.
entertainer Sade Simmons with a brief look at the action on Royal Caribbean's new Oasis of the Seas. High divers hone their skills at the Aqua Theater. Meanwhile, Annette and Becky checked into the first locked stateroom at sea. 6-year-old Khalil got his H2O zone on. And in other stories, cruisers on Deck 16 finally found their chi. That's the news. I'm Sade Simmons on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. Why aren't you?
This is a view you've never seen before. This is our bionic bar. This is part spaceship, part cruise ship. This changes everything. Until the end of February, selected sailings include a drinks package and up to $400 to spend on board. Atoll protected.
There's nothing quite like a Royal Caribbean holiday. No wonder 9 out of 10 guests would recommend us. Atoll protected.
I vow to wow my family with a vacation they'll never forget.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's Vow to Wow sale. Now when you book your vacation, get 50% off your second guest and more money to spend on board.
I vow to break the ice with my father-in-law.
I vow to fly like Supermom.
I vow to make vacation history.
It's our richest offer of the year. Royal Caribbean's Vow to Wow sale. Book your vacation and get 50% off your second guest. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN today.
Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street. You're gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, a big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. We will rock you. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you.
For the 12th year in a row, Royal Caribbean has been voted Best Cruise Line in the Caribbean and Best Cruise Line overall, proving that no one rocks the Caribbean like Royal Caribbean. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN or your travel agent today.
Set your sights beyond the shore, a royal world to explore, a sea that holds so much more than your everyday. Conquer a mountain at sea, a hole-in-one on the green, relaxing poolside scene, no worries in your way. Just take the challenge, grab a board and test your balance. If you think you've got the talent, next stop is the ice rink, baby. Hey, here's your chance for your amazement. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent, the perfect ship for any occasion. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent. Hey, here's your chance for your amazement. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent, the perfect ship for any occasion. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent. Why not get started today? Let's plan your cruise getaway. Your agent knows all the ways to make the most of it. Dining you just can't miss. Spa treatment, VIP list, all with a view like this. Best way to start your day. Show reservations, private island destinations. Way to save on your vacation. Tell me when we're going, baby. Hey, here's your chance for your amazement. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent, the perfect ship for any occasion. Set sail with Royal. Now call your agent. There's so much to discover here on the big sea. So while you're waiting, set sail royally. There's so much to discover here on the big sea. So while you're waiting,
the people, hereby secede from land and declare ourselves the nation of Why Not. From this moment on, we will be a nation adrift. We will cast off conventions of life on land and set sail free to ask, why not? Why not ice skate on the equator? Sunbathe past glaciers, climb mountains at sea, and learn a foreign word like yes. Or why not do nothing at all? Declare your independence. Become a citizen of our nation. Royal Caribbean, the nation of why not.
Here, kids jump. Kids dream. Kids giggle. Kids remember. And right now, when you book a Royal Caribbean cruise, kids sail. Free. No one brings a family together like Royal Caribbean. Book now and your kids sail free. Plus, get a free upgrade. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN for this limited time offer.
We at Royal Caribbean International want to ensure your utmost comfort and safety while on board. We would like to familiarize you with the safety and lifeboat procedures you will need to know in the unlikely event of an emergency. Inside your stateroom, you will find your life jacket located on top of the closet. Your life jacket has reflective tape to increase your visibility, a whistle, and a light which is activated on contact with water. To put on your life jacket, unwind the strap from around the life jacket and place the life jacket over your head, allowing the jacket to lie flat against your chest. Wrap the strap behind your back and fasten the plastic buckle. While holding the buckle, pull the strap tightly and tuck in the remainder of the strap. If you are traveling with small children and/or infants, a specially designed child and infant-sized life jacket should already be in your stateroom. If you do not find appropriate-sized life jacket for everyone assigned to your stateroom, please contact your stateroom attendant who will provide them for you. The instructions for donning a life jacket are posted on the back of your stateroom door. This sign tells you which muster station you are assigned to, as well as the primary and secondary escape routes for your stateroom. Please make yourself familiar with this sign. All muster stations are located on Deck 5. The even-numbered muster stations are located on the port side, the left side of the ship when facing forward. And odd-numbered muster stations are located on the starboard side, the right side of the ship when facing forward. The emergency signal is 7 short and 1 long blast heard from the ship's whistle, and on the internal alarm bell system. In addition, flashing emergency lights in the corridors and public areas operate in conjunction with the audible alarms. When you hear the signal, you should proceed directly to your muster station. If you are in your stateroom at the time of the signal, put on warm clothing, collect any medication and documentation you may need, and proceed to your muster station wearing your life jacket. If you are not in your stateroom when you hear the alarm, proceed directly to your muster station where a life jacket will be issued to you. During any emergency situation, listen carefully for public announcements as important information may be broadcasted. Follow the muster station signs located in all hallways and lobbies. In the unlikely event of reduced visibility, in the corridors and stairways, lighting along the floor will also illuminate the route to the nearest exit. Because of possible power failure during an emergency, please do not use the elevator. Use the stairs instead. Stairs can be found at the front of the ship and midship. Do not use the centrum stairways. If you, for any reason, should require assistance while using the stairs, proceed to the nearest stairs where specially trained crew members will be available to help you. Please proceed in an orderly fashion. No eating, drinking, or smoking is permitted during this procedure. At each muster station, there is a leader and other qualified crew who will assist you and answer all your questions. They will direct you to your assigned lifeboat, which is situated close to your muster station. In the event of an emergency, all lifeboats will be lowered to Deck 5 for embarkation. You will board the lifeboats, which will then be lowered to the water. Royal Caribbean International takes the safety and lives of our guests very seriously. Your full cooperation is needed throughout the lifeboat and safety drill. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for cruising with Royal Caribbean International.
So this is awkward. I'm a cruise director at Royal Caribbean, and my job is to make sure you're enjoying yourself. And now here you are, on hold. However, I'd like this on-hold experience as entertaining, uplifting, and toe-tapping as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present On Hold, the musical. 5, 6, 7, 8. You called us up, now you're on hold, but not for long, so I am told. Please be patient while I sing this song. Here comes the chorus, so sing along. Being on hold is not that bad. It's not the worst time you ever had. Being on hold is temporary. It's gonna end soon, so don't you worry. Being on hold. Well, I hope you enjoyed On Hold, the musical. And thank you for your patience. A representative will be with you very shortly. Until then, I'd like to direct you to one of Royal Caribbean's Vitality Spas. There you'll find someone who's quite helpful. I mean, they probably won't sing, but whatever.
Hello. It's true, I can't even sing a single note. But as a masseuse at our Vitality Spa, I can help alleviate any on-hold tension you may be experiencing with a little visualization. Imagine, if you will, a pristine white beach. And you are there. Off in the distance, someone comes running towards you. As she gets closer, you see she's carrying a telephone on a silver tray. She simply says, they're ready to take your call. You don't know why her words are echoing, but it doesn't matter. You echo back, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You raise the telephone to your ear and hear.
Hello, this is Adam Goldstein, President and CEO of Royal Caribbean. I'd like to personally apologize for putting you on hold. How may I help you?
Feels good, doesn't it? Your on-hold tension slipping away. Your on-hold journey surely coming to an end soon. Thank you for your patience, and know that your business is important to us. The proof? Here's the most important person in the Royal Caribbean Fleet, one of our ship captains. Welcome aboard, sir.
As captain, it's my duty to get you wherever you want to go. And I'm sure On Hold is not the destination you had in mind. So please allow me to personally remedy the situation.
Royal Caribbean.
This is your captain speaking.
Please hold.
That's a nice song. Good tune. Nice beat. Very nice, very clever, very pleasant to the ears. I'm certain a sales representative will be with you and me momentarily. Thanks for your patience. An incredible journey awaits you. Just ask our Director of Ship Excursions. Take it away.
Incredible journeys indeed. Our day trips from ship to shore take you to some of the most exotic places in the world. While you wait, let's practice some of the languages you may encounter on your journey. Let's start with French.
Being on hold is a bummer.
Eh bien, cette attente est un grand bummer.
Spanish, anyone?
Ow, my left ear has fallen asleep.
Ay, mi oreja izquierda se durmió.
Maybe a little Cantonese.
My palm is sweaty from holding this phone.
手机拿太久了，我的手流汗了。
I do hope you enjoyed your language lessons.
Prosím ještě trochu.
Cut it out, lessons over. But while you wait for us to answer your call, I ask that you answer a call of your own. A call of the wild. Join our scuba instructor deep beneath the ocean. 9 leagues under the sea.
Hola. At this point, I'm sure there's nothing you would rather hear than the voice of one of our sales representatives. But I'd like to think that a close second would be hearing this extraordinary sound. The rare song of the male sperm whale. He, too, is on hold, waiting for the thing he desires most, a suitable mate. Ah, listen to that. Like a midnight serenade, he summons the object of his affection. And here she comes. she will make him wait no more. The beauty, the grace, the relief of having your call finally answered. Until then, please know that great things truly come to those who wait. An expert in this area is our distinguished wine steward. He's on board Royal Caribbean's new wine bar called Vintages. Salud.
Wine steward? I prefer to be called sommelier. Now, I understand you've been on hold for a few minutes. Perhaps your face has gone from a beautiful rosé to a full-bodied red. But really, a few minutes is nothing compared to the years a fine vintage wine could be on hold. Take, for example, this lovely, very rare, one-of-a-kind Pinot Noir. Oh, I mean, this wonderful, very rare, one-of-a-kind Cabernet. This particular bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild has been on hold for almost 50 years. But today, I am going to answer its call. Oh, hello, my beautiful Cabernet. Ooh. Breathe. Yes. Worth the wait. Thank you for your patience. And now, a toast to my on-hold friends. May the telephone lines in your life open up and greet you with a robust fullness, mature with subtle overtones, and finish smooth and gloriously. I bid you adieu.
What will you pack into this year's holiday? Relaxing on the balcony? Relaxing by the pool? Relaxing on the beach? If all that relaxing gets too much, there's always... Pack more into your holiday with a 7-night European cruise with flights included. Visit royalcaribbean.co.uk and book now.
Royal Caribbean International has activities you'd expect to find on land, but instead at sea, with something to suit every taste and adventure level. If you're looking for something a bit more active, we offer rock climbing walls, ice skating rinks, pool tables, basketball and soccer courts, boxing rings, state-of-the-art fitness centers, and our Flow Rider surf simulator. If that isn't enough, our groundbreaking Oasis-class ships feature 7 incredible neighborhoods packed with first-at-sea experiences. The Oceanside Aqua Theater, a hand-carved carousel, Starbucks, 3D movie theater, zip line, designer shopping at Coach and Guest stores, and much more. The young and the young at heart will enjoy swimming pools, bungee trampolines, and mini golf, not to mention a variety of world-class onboard entertainment, including Tony Award-winning Broadway shows like Chicago, Hairspray, and the hit show Saturday Night Fever. We have thrilling shows in the Aqua Theater. And let's not forget about the DreamWorks experience, offered exclusively on board Royal Caribbean ships. You and your children can spend time with your favorite characters from Shrek, Madagascar, and other DreamWorks animation films. You'll enjoy countless nightlife options, including intimate wine bars, lounges, and dance clubs. So much to choose from. We pride ourselves on providing a wealth of options to help you indulge and unwind. Treat yourself in our day spa, offering a wide variety of the latest therapies to help you relax and rejuvenate on your cruise vacation. Lounge poolside or enjoy a midday soak in the whirlpool. Or participate in our unique Vitality Wellness program that provides customized encouragement and education towards achieving total wellness in mind, body, and spirit. In short, if you can dream it, Royal Caribbean can provide it.
I'm Kristen Chenoweth. You may know me from Broadway, TV, and the movies, but now I'm taking on a very exciting role as godmother to Royal Caribbean International's newest, most innovative ship, Quantum of the Seas. Oh, I'm so proud of my godchild. I'm standing in North Star. How would you like to hang out above the ship, or actually over the ocean? In North Star, you can do just that. From up here, it's a world you've never seen before, and a Royal Caribbean first for the entire industry.
Another Royal Caribbean first, Ripcord by iFly. Have you ever dreamed of skydiving at sea? This adventure is for people of all ages, even legendary actress Estelle Harris.
All right, she's been in there 4 times already. Isn't it my turn now?
Wow! Next time we'll do a tandem, honey.
You were terrific. Congratulations. But watch this.
Come on, Richie. Keep it up. Now I know what I'll look like after a facelift. Keep up the good work. You know he's the chairman. Hi, honey. Go at it. Yeah!
270 is one of the most dynamic venues on the ship. Literally transforming throughout the day. For an afternoon retreat, you can kick up your feet and unwind with a loved one, or grab a drink.
Tell, can you believe this place? World-class entertainment, 3-story video wall. Look at this ice bar. It's just really quite magical. Do you have a better line? Oh, I didn't think so.
How come he never speaks? Oh, see? Being a godmother has its privileges. And in the evening at 270, you'll marvel at one of our dramatic performances. Music, world-class entertainment, excitement. Just another day on Quantum of the Seas. This is Seaplex, our sports and entertainment complex, the largest at sea, and another Royal Caribbean first. Adam, I know this is your game, but you better watch out.
Godmother with a 2-handed backhand, very dangerous.
You know it. Oh, I just love all the activities on this ship.
So do I. It's really something special, isn't it?
Incredible! So much to do! Mind-blowing!
I still got it! Chris Webber still has it!
I still got it, too!
With a little help from me.
Oh!
Nice!
I might. No, it's so great. Low five. Yes. And for the first time at sea, bumper cars. Watch out!
Oh! Gotcha, Elia.
Hey, Nolan, let me tell you something. In racing, you're trying to avoid smashing the other cars.
It's bumper cars. Bumper cars? Get it? By the way, nice racing uniform.
Are you even tall enough to drive one of these things? Whoa! Hello.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
Maybe you should settle this on the dance floor.
You're on. Now this is my kind of place! Hit it, boys! The Music Hall. 2 floors of cutting-edge music and entertainment. One of my favorite places. Quantum of the Seas is truly a one-of-a-kind ship, but her staterooms are the most spacious and luxurious accommodations in the fleet.
Hide and seek. Ready? Go!
These unique modular rooms, which you'll find only on Royal Caribbean, are perfect for the ultimate vacation. These family-connected staterooms give larger families the flexibility of sharing time together, or stealing some quiet time. For those who want to experience our most luxurious accommodations featuring the finest amenities and our most expansive views, our Royal Loft may be just what you're looking for. Now, this is the kind of room a godmother deserves.
New York area, Quantum of the Seas will travel to the most sought-after destinations in the Caribbean and in the Bahamas. Of course, we've brought back some of your favorite activities, including the Flow Rider, and our friends from DreamWorks, including my favorite ogre, Shrek. Each of these events on Quantum of the Seas provides its own moment to remember. Together, they create an experience you will never forget. You'll just have to experience it for yourself.
Nice table tennis moves, Adam.
Thank you, that's very kind of you.
I have some questions about my godmother duties.
Let's hear it.
Do I outrank the captain?
No.
Can I choose our next port?
No.
Can I have one of the bumper cars?
No, but if you're a bumper car driver extraordinaire, you can drive one anytime you like.
Oh, how does one get to be a godmother?
Excuse me.
Oh, Estelle, it's a very intricate process, you know.
Oh. Excuse me, Estelle. Richard and I have very official business here.
Richard, this ship is quite an accomplishment.
Stop trying to butter him up.
Oh, ladies, please. Let's settle this at bumper cars.
Oh, let's.
Not.
Do you think they'll let me drive this thing?
No. You know, they asked me to be godmother, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Graceful, smart, exciting? Not me, silly. The ship. Only on Royal Caribbean can you have such an amazing experience. Hope to see you all on board Quantum of the Seas. Prepare to be wowed. Hi, it's me again. Did you miss me? There's so much stuff I didn't get to tell you. Okay, the dining, food is amazing. Shopping, heart palpitations, ladies. Oh, and the technology is so good, so smart. I don't think I'm supposed to tell you any of this, because it's a secret. So shh. Oh, I'm so excited, I can't wait. I'll see you on board Quantum of the Seas.
Hole championship on the line. 4 feet separate a man from his dream. And here's the putt.
Oh, wasn't expecting the horn.
Somewhere between the helicopter tour, deep sea fishing, and the rock wall, it hits you. This is way more than a cruise. See for yourself at RoyalCaribbean.com and get out there.
I'm all done. Leave me. Go on. I am not leaving you behind.
If you guys don't quit it, I'm gonna miss my massage. Come on, guys.
Glacier hiking, the dog sledding, the train tours, and the rock wall, it hits you. This is way more than a cruise. Royal Caribbean to Alaska. Get out there.
Hello? Hi. This is the sea calling. I'm talking to the sea?
Is this for real?
Yeah.
What?
When's the last time you visited me? A long time ago.
I work all the time.
Hustle and bustle, you can't stop.
Oh, you have to come and visit me soon.
Yeah! I want to visit you. I miss you.
I miss you too. Okay, you have to close your eyes. Listen carefully. I want you to imagine that you're out in the middle of me. The traffic noise, not there. The gentle sound of me puts you at ease. Where people wait on you for a change. You can get a massage. You can go to amazing restaurants.
Yeah.
Surfing. Oh, nice moves. Zip line high above me. Go out dancing. That's great.
Can I go now?
Sure.
And we'll talk when I get there?
Yes, we'll talk when you get there.
We've come to the Caribbean in search of something this family rarely sees. I've heard rumors it still exists, but I don't know. We've tried everything to coax it out into the open. There it is. She's actually smiling. And then it's gone in a flash.
Don't just take your family on a vacation. Take them on an adventure. Find out how at RoyalCaribbean.com and get out there.
People like the Caribbean in all sorts of ways. But no matter how they Caribbean, they all like the Caribbean with the best. For the 12th year in a row, Royal Caribbean has not only been voted best cruise line in the Caribbean, but best cruise line overall. And with our fantastic BOGO Wild Sale, book now and get 50% off your second guest. Plus, you can even get more money to spend on board, proving that the only way to Caribbean is with Royal Caribbean. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN today.
The officers and staff of Royal Caribbean Cruise Line invite you to join them for 7 days of absolute perfection. RSVP, your local travel agent. Don't just cruise the Caribbean, cruise the Royal Caribbean.
When three world champions face off in intense competition, you never know what can happen. Royal Caribbean International is proud to present the Caribbean Cup Challenge, featuring Gabby Douglas,
Totally went the wrong way. I should stick to gymnastics.
Tom Daly,
My hands are shaking.
and Ian Thorpe.
I'm a turkey. Are we revealing that?
Go to Royal Caribbean's YouTube page to get exclusive content and watch the competition unfold.
At Royal Caribbean, our ships are designed for wow. Royal Caribbean ships are also designed for the best of Broadway. Royal Caribbean is the only cruise line with Tony Award-winning shows.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. And we'll start off, we're going to, obviously, the recording is about to begin. Welcome, hope you're all hearing me. I want to make sure the audio sounds okay. I know I got the dorky headphones on, but I'll make sure everything looks all right before we get the go button. And thanks for joining us here again on this Tuesday, and celebrating our 200th episode. I see everybody in chat already. Chris is here, Michael, John, other Chris, Brian is here, Deb is here, Ron Hiller is here. So we're going to get started and record our episode, 200th episode of the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast, and I'm very, very excited to be sharing with you guys. We're also, I'll be taking your calls later on. I'll be sharing the number So that'll be coming soon. Understand I'm doing a little bit of an intro, and then I'll open up the phone lines for your calls. So I think we're looking okay. I'm just checking my settings over here. I see my voice coming over. So really the only X factor is if it'll hear people calling in on the phone, but I think we'll be okay on that regard. Anyway, all right, guys, here we go. Welcome to the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast, a weekly look into the world of Royal Caribbean cruising. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg, and this is episode number 200. This episode of the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast is a little bit special because it marks our 200th episode, and I recorded this episode live with the Royal Caribbean Blog Insiders. And the Royal Caribbean Blog Insiders are a group of folks who donate to the blog each month, and in return, they get certain benefits such as t-shirts, priority listener email access, early access to each podcast episode, starting for as little as $1 per month. For more information, visit our, and a lot more, check it out at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/support, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/support. It's completely optional and a great way to show your support for the show. And before we dive into this episode, I just want to take some time to say thank you. The Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast was born from an idea to share with everyone the fun that happens on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I wanted to provide a forum for sharing news, cruise tips, and talk about what's happening in the cruise industry. It's honestly, it's hard to imagine, but we started this podcast 4 years ago, back in 2013, and as you probably guess, quite a bit has changed in Royal Caribbean since then. But the wonderful community that has spawned from this podcast continues to be a source of inspiration for me, and a terrific resource for the listening audience. We've shared tips, reviewed cruises, even had a few VIPs on, and took some time to simply talk with friends about what we love. We've recorded episodes from my home studio, across the country, and even live on Royal Caribbean ships. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone listening for giving me 200 episodes of sheer joy each and every week. Thank you for tuning in, emailing me, sharing the podcast. Your dedication is why I produce an episode each and every week for 200 weeks, and why I cannot wait to continue some more. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And thanks for being a part of this, for making me not just be talking to myself for the last 200 weeks, but really, whether you started at episode 1 or you're just joining this as your first episode now, doesn't matter. I'm just so glad you're along for the ride, and we've had a great run, and we're at 200 now, but there's no limit ahead of us. I just want to take the time to obviously celebrate milestones that we reach, but it's also important to say thank you, because without you, there is no Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast. Simple as that. So thank you. And since we're recording this live, I could just talk and you guys could all watch and listen if you're watching this live or listen to this podcast as it comes out. But you know what? It's more fun to have you all involved. And we got a topic for today. For today's episode, since we've actually got everyone here listening, right? We got the collective knowledge of the Royal Caribbean Blog Insiders. I wanted to share tips for someone taking their very first Royal Caribbean cruise. Quite often, I get a question along these lines. I'm going on my first cruise, usually a Royal Caribbean cruise. I'm going on my very first cruise, never cruised before. What do I need to know? And I know that many of our insiders right now are like, okay, where do we start, right? There's a lot of tips, and really wanted to comb over figure out what is the really critical things that first-time cruisers need to know. And I'm inviting all of our insiders to give us a call and share with us. I'm going to start things off with one. But I'm going to say, and this is, if you've listened to this podcast before, maybe over the last 200 episodes, you might have heard me talk about this, but use a travel agent. There's so many things, so many factors and choices to be made. And as a first-time cruiser, look, I've made a website at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com aimed at helping people understand that process, right? But at the end of the day, it is significantly easier if you have a human being you can talk to and kind of bounce ideas off of, and have someone do all the hard work for you, like repricing, like figuring out which itineraries may be a better fit, what rooms are available, and a variety of other requests, special dietary needs, and a variety of other things. But a travel agent is your partner in this process, and I use a travel agent. I've taken, I don't know how many Royal Caribbean cruises to this day, but I still use a travel agent, and I firmly believe everybody should. So if you're a first-time cruiser, the first thing I tell them is use a good travel agent who knows cruising and or Royal Caribbean. It's a really important starting point. Of course, read RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, but I think the travel agent is a really big part of it. So I'm also going to open up the phone lines, though, to get some tips from the insiders, and our phone number is 352-578 1724. And I'm typing it in chat right now so everyone can. 372 578 1724. 372 578 1724 is our phone number, and I believe that will work as we get ready for some folks here to call in with their best tips for someone who's new to Royal Caribbean. We got our first caller already on the line. Oh, here we go. Hello, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Matt. Chris Looking Christensen.
Chris, one of the best moderators we've got out on the Royal Caribbean Blog message boards and a past guest on the podcast. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Matt. Congratulations on 200.
Thank you, sir. It's been a long road, but I appreciate you being a part of this, and it's exciting. And I'm so happy we got to obviously do this live, record this live anyway, and have some of you involved in here too. And a big shout out once again to Chris for the great work he does day in, day out on the message boards. I pay him a lot of money and then multiply that by 0, and he gets it every month for all the hard work that he does. So, Chris, thank you so much for all the hard work on the message boards.
You're welcome. My advice is going to be the message boards.
Oh,
lots
use the
of great
online
info there.
resources, right?
Yeah, we got a great community there.
You're absolutely right, and the message board community obviously is a little bit self-serving. Not that I'm ever above self-serving plugs, but there is truth in that, and that the message boards are a great wealth of information because you get all different kinds of backgrounds, all different kinds of advice, and you're right, we got a wonderful community there who helps contribute information. But oftentimes you got these kind of questions that are really, not so much questions that maybe even, I don't want to say travel agent doesn't know, but they're really like in the weed questions, right? Like it's about understanding how the work of Adventure Ocean happens, or dining tips, and kind of sharing kind of those kind of minutia questions. It's a great place for it, and it's a great place just to read other people's things that might bring to light something you hadn't thought about before.
Right. I think they serve as a good sounding board because, like one of the recent topics, was debating should someone do a 7-night Rhapsody versus a 6-night Freedom of the Seas. So it's good to get that feedback from people who've had all that experience.
Absolutely. And a lot of first-timers, Chris, and you can attest this, I think one of the big fears first-timers have is they're afraid they're making a mistake. It's not that they don't know the answer, but they're afraid they're making a mistake, or they want to make sure, or assurance, that they're doing the right thing. I think you probably see this as much as I do with some of the comments in there. People just, saying, like, is this the right way to go about it? Because if they don't know anyone who's done it before, it can be kind of mysterious or a little bit concerning about that. And I think that's a very healthy and normal reaction.
True. And, it's a good, big investment cash-wise for a lot of people, and I think they get caught up in some of the negative reviews across the internet, when in reality, those reviews are overblown, oftentimes.
There are negative comments on the internet? What?
I know. Surprise, surprise, right?
Awesome.
Well, I'll let you get to other callers. I just wanted to congratulate you on 200, and thank you for all the great work that you do, day in and day out.
Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate that. Let's go to our next caller on the line. They're joining us now. Hi, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Deb Deerkamp from Minnesota.
Deb! Welcome, Deb. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Could you do me a quick favor and turn down the YouTube? I would say the radio.
You know what? I'm going to walk in another room. I'm listening to you, and I'm getting feedback. Is that better?
Much better. Much better, Deb. Thank you for joining us here. And, Deb, what would you say is a good tip for a first-time cruiser?
One tip I would recommend, there is many message boards out there and a lot of information on different websites. I would say take reviews with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Make your own decisions. Yep. And then can I add another one about traveling on Royal's larger ships, such as Oasis of the Seas or Anthem of the Seas? Do book as much as you can ahead of time because it's going to give you a much more relaxed cruise.
I think those are wonderful tips. First, I want to go back to your first one, Deb, which is that when you're talking about, researching, inevitably you start Googling, right? That's when you do anything, right? I'm going to go visit, Clearwater Beach in Florida. I'm going to Google what to do there, and you'll read things. And just because it's written on the internet doesn't necessarily mean it's true or indicative of your experience and what it can be. So, And like I said all the time, Deb, you can find people who hate Star Wars, people that love Star Wars, people that hate baby turtles, and people that love baby turtles. I mean, everyone hates everything. There's going to be a segment of the population that is always going to come on one side or the other. But the bottom line is that just because someone said that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be what you're going to experience.
Exactly. That's correct. Make your own fun.
Absolutely. And then I totally agree about your other tip. If you're going, absolutely, Deb. I think the other tip about going on, if you're going on the larger ships, those Oasis or Quantum class ships, definitely do yourself a favor, log on to Royal Caribbean's Cruise Planner, and pre-book those shows, especially the entertainment that's available. It's only available on the Quantum and Oasis class ships presently. But it is a big. Yep. It's not to say that if you don't make it or you come in late, like you book the cruise kind of last minute, that it's going to be a problem. It just makes your life easier. Is really what it's all about. So take advantage of it. Royal Caribbean's giving it to you. It's complimentary to make show reservations. So there's really not a whole lot of disadvantage. Plus, you got to fill in the time anyway between when you book the cruise and when you actually take the cruise. So why not have do something there in the middle? And it's going to make your life a little bit easier on board the ship. So I think it's a great tip, Deb.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Appreciate it. Our phone number again is 352, area code 352-578-1724. 352-578-1724. And once again, keep in mind that the phone lines, we're getting to all the calls we can. So I know it's going to be a little busy in the beginning.
352-578.
Hang in there. We have our next caller from New Jersey, I think.
Oh, I'm from New Jersey, but I live in Austin, Texas. It's John Bamber. How are you?
John Bamber, welcome.
I love the way you welcome everybody, like the periscopes and everything. It's just it keeps up the excitement, man, which is awesome. So I definitely want to echo everyone else saying congratulations on 200, man. This is awesome. I mean, I never thought that I could imagine what 200 episodes of a podcast about a cruise line could be, but you've definitely found a way to make it happen. And I genuinely appreciate what you've done for making the community and everything. It's really impressive, and it's really kind of heartwarming to be able to feel the warmth of what it's like to be on a cruise in between sailings through how you keep everybody feeling welcome on the your periscopes and streams and the podcast and everything. So really huge thank you from me for that. But I wanted to throw you my answer to your question of the day. And that, as far as what to do for your first cruise, don't ever hesitate to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, no such thing as a bad question. I know people have asked you a million times if you work for Royal Caribbean or not. Some might think it's a stupid question, but hey, there's no such thing as a stupid question because you never know who doesn't know. So always feel free to ask questions. So that's my tip.
First of all, thank you so much, John, for the very kind words. Having people like you in the community it's like Exhibit A, right? Because I think the thing, after 200 episodes, you might hang your hat on some of the episodes, some of the people we've had on the podcast, or perhaps some of the places we've recorded from. But really and truly, I am so thankful that we've had such great folks like yourself, John, who come in here and are a part of it and part of the fun and have a great sense of humor. And, of course, also really relish any opportunity to talk Royal Caribbean. That definitely means a lot. So thank you for being a part of it, John. And I also agree about
pleasure.
Your tip.
Thank you.
That's a great idea, though, about asking questions both before the cruise and also on board. I think that oftentimes that is something that a lot of folks, even veteran cruisers, John, they may not think about because a lot of times people, they think about these questions. They have the question in their mind, but they feel maybe it's like you said earlier. Maybe they feel like it's a dumb question, or perhaps they feel like they're putting somebody out there by asking the question, like it's a hassle for somebody. Like Royal Caribbean wants you to have the best possible cruise ever, and if you have a question, a concern, ask that question. Then don't come back and write about it on the message boards. You should write about the message boards anyway. But when you're on the cruise, ask that question and make sure you can. Maybe it'll improve your cruise. Worst they're ever going to tell you is, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't do that. You cannot have any more guacamole, Mr. Hochberg." That's the extent of the worst case scenario.
That's right, because cruises are are very much a, you get what you put into it kind of thing, because there's so much to do. They're not going to spoon feed you everything. They'll spoon feed you something, but they're not going to spoon feed you everything. So you've got to put something in to get something out. And if you don't know what to put in, open up your mouth, ask people what you need to do. And that being said, I had like a little sort of footnote, because my friend of mine that I went on Majesty with was asking me about the whole safety bit and the muster drill and everything. Don't overthink the whole safety bit, because it's easy to look at movies like Poseidon and Titanic and worry about lifeboats and all that stuff. And
sure.
I told him many times, I said, look, they wouldn't be as successful at this if they didn't take that into consideration. And they make it an amazing experience, both from a safety standpoint, but also just from a doing everything else standpoint too. So that was another little thing I wanted to throw in, but I don't want to take all the time, because you're absolutely right. I definitely relish every opportunity to talk Royal Caribbean, but I want to be cognizant and be friendly to other people that want to call in. So I thank you again, Matt, for everything, and I am looking forward to unmuting the YouTube.
Awesome. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Our phone number again, 352-578-1724. Lots of great calls. Love this. Let's keep it rolling with our next call coming on the line here. Let's go to line 2. Hello. We've got it coming on. Hello, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast. Who are we talking with?
This is Wilson calling from Texas.
Wilson from Texas. Love Wilson. Great guy. A purveyor of all rumors on the Royal Caribbean Blog message boards. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call. I've been kind of absent from the podcast message boards after getting back from Harmony, but work has kind of taken over the last couple of weeks, so it's great to talk a little bit of Royal Caribbean instead of work.
There you go. That darn work always getting in the way. So, Wilson, what's your tip for a first-time cruiser?
Well, I'd written down one, and Dr. Chris took it from me, but that's okay. It's a great one. Obviously listen to the other 199 podcasts that Matt's put together. But I would say, if possible, go with someone that has already cruised before. If someone, the message boards are great pre-cruise, but if you could have somebody there with you that you trust and enjoy traveling with, and have them on the cruise to kind of guide you in the right direction and hold your hand, it'd be very beneficial.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, learn from others. Stand on the shoulders of giants, right? Take advantage of that knowledge base. I mean, they may not be the most, they might not know everything, but if they know more than you, that's already a starting point. That just helps you, avoid perhaps some pitfalls or just some basic things that may get in the way. So I agree with that. It's a great idea, Wilson. I appreciate you calling us up and sharing it with us. And I hope that you're staying cool there deep in the heart of Texas.
We are indeed, looking forward to being even cooler next year on the Alaskan group cruise. Just super excited about that. Wish we could join y'all here in the fall on Harmony, but we've already got Navigator set up within about 30 days of that. But I just want to call in, congratulate you on 200. Just let you know, just really appreciate your enthusiasm, your commitment, and the passion that you've got. That just brings us all the cruise nerds together, and I have a whole new set of friends because of it. I thank you, sir.
Cruise nerds of the world unite. I like it. Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you. Cheers, Insiders.
Woo! Thank you, Insiders. Yes. All right, let's get some more Insiders here on the live show as we bring our next caller in. And I think I know who this is. This is coming from Orlando, Florida. Welcome. Who's on line with us?
Hey, this is Brandon Owen calling you all the way from the other side of Orlando.
Brandon, wow, on the east side of town. Man, what is going on?
Well, I just wanted to give you a quick call, Matt, and thank you for everything you do on the podcast. And you've just been great, and you're my workout buddy on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings.
I'm lifting there with you, buddy, in spirit, not in physical, because I would never do that. But I appreciate the
I listened to all those podcasts on the as I work it out. I listen to all those podcasts.
There you go. So I am assuming your tip is about the drink package, since you are the patron saint of the drink package.
I think that's Gerald. But my tip was actually for first-time cruisers is be careful. Because people often think they won't like it, or they're not sure if they'll like cruising, but they're probably going to get addicted. I ran into you, last January, I think, so about 16 months ago or so. Quickly, you and Billy and Michael and all the other guys got me addicted, and I've now been on 3 Royal Caribbean cruises, including a group cruise.
That's right. And you got another one coming up.
And another one coming up, yes. And my third meetup coming up this weekend as well.
Everything is going just as I planned.
Maybe fourth meetup, actually.
Excellent. I like it. Yeah, I think that's a great tip is be careful what you wish for, right? It's highly addictive. Caution, contents may be extremely beneficial to your health and add lots of smiles, although will cost you a fair amount of money.
Yes, and use a travel agent.
Awesome. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us here. And big shout out to Kathy as well. Thanks for being a part of this. Always a pleasure to run into you.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for the good work.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Love Brandon hanging on there with us. And, of course, he was on the Navigator Group Cruise, joining us again on the Royal Caribbean blog Harmony of the Seas Group Cruise, September 2017. Still time for you to join us for it if you'd like to. More details at royalcaribbeanblog.com/events. Let's go to our next caller. We have somebody. Oh, lost them. Oh, just lost it. Call back in. There we go. They actually just literally said call back in. They literally just call back in. Cool story, Matt. Let's go back to that caller. Hi, you're live on the Royal Caribbean blog podcast. Who are we speaking with?
Give me a second, Matt. This is Ron. I have to put down my Cuban cigar. Hang on. Okay, I'm done. I'm ready. Yeah, Big Dog Ron Hazy out in Arizona. How you doing?
Ron Hiller, welcome.
First of all, congratulations on 200 episodes, and I have listened to every one of those episodes, whether it's in an airplane or working out or just sitting around the house. I've learned so much about Royal Caribbean because of you, and I've met so many people through the community. It's unbelievable. I can't believe all the people I've cruised with in the past 8 months, including you, Billy, and Larissa, Brandon, even all these great people I've met. It's been a joy. It's been a lot of fun.
I think you're right about that. I love that. You know, Ron and I were both on the same Anthem of the Sea sailing this past March. It wasn't a group cruise; just happened to randomly book the same sailing, and it's so fun to be able to see friends on board a ship, whether it's a group cruise or not. And I agree with you, Ron. Being able to meet the people and have these friendships that have fostered because of this podcast, I think is truly the gift that, you know, is probably the least spoken about, but arguably the most powerful gift that there is from this. And that's, again, this goes back to the wonderful community and why I encourage everybody who listens to this podcast to, you know, email us in, join us on our message boards, come hang out with us on Facebook or on Periscope, because it's we got some great folks in here and we're just waiting for you to join us for it. So well said, Ron. And what's your tip for a first-time cruiser, perhaps checking the luggage in a closet?
Well, you know, I have to go back 27 years to remember my first cruise, okay? And I was so worried that my luggage was not going to make it to my stateroom. I mean, literally, you know, one of those things where we were coming from Arizona, and I was going, there's no way my luggage is going to get there because we checked it in at the airport in Phoenix. That was back in the old days, and our luggage somehow miraculously made it to our room on Nordic Empress at the time. So that was one thing I was worried about. But my one tip is this, and that is don't overthink it. And what I mean by that is I know a lot of people get on board, and there's so many things going on. I mean, you've got the cruise compass there, and there's one activity after another. In fact, when I was on Empress this last week, I was talking to a couple, and they were so stressed out because they were missing things. You know, even on Empress, there's something going on almost every hour, you know. And I say, hey, just go enjoy yourself. You're going to miss things. That happens. And just do the things you want to do. Look at your cruise compass every day and get your highlighter out and highlight the things you want to do. But you're not going to be able to do everything, especially on those big ships, as we all know, the Oasis class. So don't stress. Have a great time. And, you know, you can always go on another cruise. You know, that's what I do. You just go back again and do it over and over again. And hit those things you missed the first time, the next time. So that's my tip for the first-time cruisers.
That's a great tip. I totally agree. It's, you know, we can all get lost in the minutia of, you know, planning every aspect of the cruise. Perhaps coming up with, a spreadsheet and going to that level. There's nothing wrong with it. Look, I'm not judging. I've been there and I continue to do that. However, I think you're right. Sometimes you just got to take a step back. Remember that classic song, Que sera, sera. Whatever.
All right, Matt, you're singing.
That's right. Sorry, I apologize. But you get the idea, right? Some things are just at a certain point. As long as you get your passport, your credit cards, and you can get on board the ship. After that, YOLO. Everything is going to be fine after that, right?
And enjoy it. That's why you're on a cruise. Just sit back and relax and let it come to you. You're going to have a great time. And, of course, read RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com before you go. That's my other tip. So I was telling people on the cruise this last 10 days that they want to know, how do I know all this information about Empress and all these other ships? And I had to tell them, it's not me. It's RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So there you go.
One quick story about Ron before I let Ron go. We were on that Anthem cruise, and we were on Coco Cay, and we reserved a beach bungalow, and the couple next to me, I think, overheard me and recognized my voice, and they go, "Oh, I know you. You're Big Dog Ron, right?" Wow. No.
And I had the reverse happen to me too, Matt, several times. Are you Matt Hochberg? I go, no, I'm not Matt Hochberg. Matt's a lot better looking than I am. But yeah, I had that happen to me as well. So yeah, it's a funny story.
That's funny. Awesome. Ron, thanks for joining us on here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good night.
All right, let's keep things going with our other calls as we I just missed that one that was coming by, but keep at it. I know some of you are calling in here and getting the busy signal. Promise we'll get to as many as possible. And for this one, I believe we're going overseas for this call. Hi, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Matt. It's Annie.
Annie from England?
I know. Staying up at this time of night just to get involved and say congratulations.
Blimey. That's mighty.
Blimey.
Mighty something British of you. Thank you.
Congratulations. 200 episodes. That's quite amazing.
Thank you very much. It's and I, as I said before, and we were talking about, it's really the people that make it up, Annie. And Annie and I went on. Annie was on the group cruise with her husband Richard for the Freedom of the Seas group cruise that we had last year, which was a lot of fun. We sang karaoke. We might have done a Periscope in which I made Annie say British things on the air. It was wonderful. And we got a chance to, anytime you get to cruise together with friends, that's what it's all about. And I think that I hope what people are hearing on this episode is that camaraderie, that sense of community that we have here. It's our best thing that we've got at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And Annie, you're like exhibit 72 of that, and I appreciate you staying up late and calling in with all this. So Annie, I got to ask you, what is your tip? What's a critical tip for a first-time cruiser?
Go for a week. Don't be tempted to do one of these 3-4 nighters. Kind of going on with what Ron said, there is so much to do, and I think people are frightened to go for a week because, well, what if I don't like it? But there's so much to do. If you go for a week, if you only go for 3 or 4 nights, you don't have enough chance to experience it fully, and it's over before you've done it, and before you know it, it's all finished, and you're thinking, wow, what just happened? And at least if you go for a week, you've got a bit more of a chance to take it a bit easy and get a good feel for everything. Definitely.
I think that you're 100% right, Annie. And you know what? A lot of first-time cruisers, in fact, think the complete opposite. Oh, it's my first cruise. I should take a short cruise because, what if I hate it, right? Isn't that logical? And the reality is, while it may seem like that, it's actually the opposite, as you just said, Annie, because you're on board. Those 3 and 4 night cruises are so short. They're over so quickly, you barely get a chance to get acclimated and really understand what a cruise is all about. And those 7-night cruises are just perfect because it gives you a good balance of sea days and port days, and it also gives you a real chance to get into the cruise mindset before it's over. And I could not agree more. I would even go, if we can do a fortnight of cruising, as you Brits enjoy, I'm sure that would be even better. But yeah, first-time cruiser, 7 nights. Save the 3 and 4 nighters for when you're been there, done that, and you need like a weekend escape. Not to mention for 7-night cruises, oftentimes the per night basis may actually be cheaper than some 3 and 4 night cruises. And you also, on 7-night cruises, you get to go on some of Royal Caribbean's newer ships, because a lot of the Royal Caribbean's newer ships do not do the shorter sailings, so you get the latest and greatest. And yeah, in short, Annie, I totally agree with you, as per usual.
Always. Yeah, and that's
Awesome.
another thing as well. It's always good to go on one of the big ships, definitely. So, or bigger ships.
Awesome. Annie, thank you for joining us here. Always a pleasure, my dear.
See you soon. Take care.
Cheerio.
Bye. Cheerio.
Sorry, I can't resist making little dumb British jokes there. Love it. All right, let's keep things rolling here with our next caller, and I believe this caller is also from the great state of New Jersey.
Hey, Matt. It's Brian Altschul.
Brian, another past guest on the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast. We're talking about celebrity cruises. Welcome, Brian.
How are you?
Outstanding.
Congratulations, of course.
Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it. Of course, you were a pretty early guest, as I recall now. We talked about celebrity a while ago, but
yeah,
I really appreciate you tuning in here and sharing. And you actually, Brian, is a wealth of information, mostly about dining, about any questions about restaurants, especially dining. This is the guy to talk about. So I don't know what tip you have lined up, but if it's about dining, then we're going right to the expert here.
I mean, I do have a lot to say about dining, and I'm always glad to talk about Royal Caribbean dining. But actually, my tip for a first-time cruiser is, and it sounds corny, but remember that everyone is in the same boat, quite literally, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you were talking before about the community and you know, knowing people that are on the ships ahead of time and you know, meeting people up, and that's an excellent point. But also keep in mind that that you can meet people on the ship, and it doesn't matter like what class stateroom anyone is in. You know, most people don't even give it a second thought. Don't believe that anyone's going to give it a second thought. Go out and meet people, spend some time with them, and I've made some lifelong friends. In fact, my next cruise is on Independence, out of England, and a couple that we met actually on Celebrity Cruise in the Mediterranean. They're coming with us. We're staying with them for 3 days before the cruise. You know, they're going to take us around London, show us the sights. He happens to be a London taxi driver, so he certainly knows a lot about the city. And you know, just go out there and you know, make friends, because you never know who's going to be your lifelong friend. And that's one thing I really love about cruising. Much different than if you think about a resort where people come and go. They have different schedules. Someone may start and end on a Wednesday, and you're starting and ending on a Saturday. And when that happens, you know, maybe you met them at the end, maybe one day or something, and then you're leaving or they're leaving. Everyone gets on the ship and gets off the ship at the same time for the most part, other than, you know, back-to-back cruises and that kind of thing. But, you know, everyone's in the same boat. Remember that everyone's in the same boat.
I think it's a great point, and I'll be honest, I would not have thought about that as a tip, but now that you say that, I think you're right, because you know, that's a really important nuance. The people that are on the ship with you, regardless of which ship you're on, they're not just, you know, you don't have to ignore them. This isn't the 6 train at rush hour, right? Where you don't make eye contact with anybody. This is an opportunity to meet people. You're at the bar and you see this guy who's from Arizona and talks to everybody. Well, you avoid that guy. That's Big Dog Ron. But everybody else, you know, you go and you say hello, and he's like, "Hey, what are you drinking over there? That looks good. That's, you know, it's pink. That's my kind of drink. What is that?" And strike up a conversation with these people. In fact, also, how about in the main dining room, being seated with you know, quote unquote strangers? I love it because
me too.
It's fun. You know, it's part of the cruise experience.
Exactly, chance to meet people and compare notes. Oh, what'd you do today? We did this. Excursion, you did that excursion. Oh, what'd you think of it? You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So you really get a lot more knowledge there. And let's face it, some people are not going to be friendly, and you know, they want to keep to themselves. That's their right. But other people you find will be very friendly and very willing to have that conversation and sit down and have a drink and go listen to some music together, or have go to a specialty restaurant together, which, as you said, is certainly one of my favorite things to do.
Absolutely. Well, Brian, thank you so much for the tip. It's a great one to mention. I think for first timers, it's probably not even on the radar, but you're absolutely right. That can really make a great cruise into an amazing cruise.
Oh, who you meet on a cruise really, I think, makes or breaks it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alrighty, let's keep things rolling. This is a great tip. I love some of these. I love these. I don't really think about, quite honestly. That's a great one. All right, let's keep things rolling with our next caller. Hi, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast.
Hey, Matt, it's Kathy.
Kathy, what is going on?
Not much. How's it going?
It's going well. We're hanging out, talking Royal Caribbean. That's like the best kind of time ever, right? I mean, what else is better, other than being on a cruise, of course, but this is the next best thing.
Kathy Cruising Cat.
Yes, absolutely. Don't use your real name. You got to use your name that I know. I don't know, Kathy. Cat. All right, Cruising Cat.
Cruising Cat.
Welcome.
You sounded like you didn't know who I was, so I'm like, well...
Well, there's many Kathys, but there's only one Cruising Cat.
That is true. I wanted to say congratulations on your 200th episode of the podcast. It is wonderful. I love listening to them.
Thank you. I really appreciate hearing that, Kat. I mean, it means a lot, obviously. I don't have any excuse to talk Royal Caribbean together, and being able to share it with all of you and have your insight and reviews and everything like that, and be able to have that community here like we talked about. I know it sounds like a broken record, but everyone that's called in here, I think, have I met every single person that's called in so far? I think I have. I'm trying to...
Yeah, in person, I think you have, actually.
Yeah, give or take. Let's say, plus or minus one, but that's pretty darn cool, and I love that. I love that it's like, Kathy. I'm like, who's Kathy? Cruising Cat. Yeah, it's you. And then I've known Cruising Cat. I knew Cruising Cat before Royal Caribbean Blog Periscopers group. Way back then. That's how far back I go. And I remember when it was just this idea. Kat runs a group that shares people that Periscope Royal Caribbean. And I remember she sent me a message on the Royal Caribbean Blog message board saying, "Hey, Matt, I really want to try this idea." And I was like, all right, lady, whatever. You know what? YOLO, right? Give it a try. Give it a whirl. We'll see what happens. And you know what? It ended up being a really cool idea. And that is the power of the community. So, Kat, thank you so much for joining us here. What is your tip for a first-time cruiser?
Okay, so my tip is, like, if you're traveling with family and you're traveling, like, with teenagers, you want to do your research on what ship you choose as your first cruise. Prime example, I just was on Empress of the Seas. I was actually on with Big Dog Ron AZ last week. And I had my 17-year-old. And it wasn't her first cruise, but it was kind of like her first cruise because she was 8 years old when she took her first cruise. So she kind of remembers it, but not as much. So it was, yeah.
It's been a while.
And Empress of the Seas is a beautiful ship. However, for a 17-year-old, that likes adventure, not so much. She didn't have any children her age. It could be the time of year, but there was children that were younger than her, and then children, people that were in their 20s. So she didn't really have anybody to hang out with, not really a lot of adventure, because there's just not a lot of stuff to do because it is a small ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet. But I would say do your research on what ship you're choosing depending on who's going with you.
I think that's a really good idea. I mean, I think I told this story on the podcast before. I certainly have told it on Periscope about 500 times. But I was on Brilliance of the Seas, and I was in the solarium hanging out, and this guy, I didn't know who he was, but he sat down next to me, and to Brian's tip earlier, we struck out a conversation, because why not? We're sitting at the solarium drinking girly drinks, and what else are we going to do, right? Might as well talk to each other. And he starts complaining, just like the way that people complain to each other, right? It's like, the ship is fun and all, but, it's not... it's not, it's not as fun as this doesn't have all the things that Oasis of the Seas had, And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, yeah, this is like nothing like Oasis of the Seas. The ship is like a fraction of the size. And it's not to say you can't have a good time on one or the other, but I think it's what you just said there, Kat, is understanding, knowing what you're getting yourself into, what the ship has, what it doesn't have, because some things are more important to others than other features, right? And I think that's a really important tip. In that, I always tell people, I don't think there's any wrong ship to go on. People say, Matt, what about Serenade of the Seas, or Vision of the Seas, or Empress of the Seas, or Enchantment of the Seas, or Allure of the Seas? Is that is this a good ship? Yes, of course, it's a wonderful ship. But to your point, Kat, there are going to be some things that's just like your family. Look, let's be honest. Your 17-year-old daughter is going to find certain things more important and more engaging than other features, and that's knowing what's best for your family, right?
Exactly. Well, and you mentioned Oasis. It's funny, it's amazing once you get on that Royal Caribbean ship. They have this thing called the Next Cruise office.
Magical things happen there.
Yes, magical things happen. Well, it's funny, quick funny story. So
Sure.
I'm thinking about my daughter's experience, and she's graduating from high school next year. So I'm like, I talked to my husband, I'm like, it'll be great. Let's go on a bigger ship and surprise her. Well, my daughter's texting me, asking me where I'm at. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to stall her because I don't want to get busted at the Next Cruise office. So, of course, my dumb husband goes, we're at the photo thing, which is right next to the Next Cruise office on Empress. Up comes walking my daughter right behind us at the Next Cruise office, and so we're busted.
Oh, jeez.
She found out that we are taking her on Oasis of the Seas on July the 1st to celebrate her high school graduation.
Nice.
So,
What a great gift. I mean, she was going to figure out sooner or later, but yeah, the element of surprise is a little bit nicer if you could have sprung that on her. But nonetheless, wow, what a gift. That's an awesome graduation gift.
Yeah. So we're really excited.
That's awesome.
Really excited.
Love,
I
love that
appreciate
story.
having us all call in and give our input.
Absolutely. Thanks for look. Any opportunity to talk Royal Caribbean is welcome, and to be able to celebrate the 200th episode with all of you is even better. You know what I mean? That way
I know, and I look
talking
forward to seeing you this weekend too, on Saturday.
Woo! The Orlando meetup. Yes, I cannot wait.
I know. I'm excited. I love seeing everybody and talking about Royal Caribbean, and it's just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's a gathering of friends who happen to like Royal Caribbean. That's what it really is about.
Most definitely.
Awesome. Well, Kat, thank you so much for calling in. It's really great to hear from you.
All right. Well, it's great to hear from you too, and we'll see you soon. I'll let someone else get on the line.
Thank you very much. All right. Our phone number, 352-578-1724. 352, that's area code 352-578-1724. We got a few minutes left here in this episode. I got a couple last tips that I jotted down before the episode, but I'm saving them in case anybody wants to take them, because I want you guys to talk about it here. But it really is. These are great tips, by the way. Really, really good stuff. All right, we got our next caller on the line, going to line 1 right now. Hi, you are live on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. Who are we speaking with?
You are speaking with Ron Ladowski.
Ron Ladowski, the patron saint of the Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise on Harmony of the Seas. And I say that because every time we do a Periscope and we talk about when's your next cruise, Ron's got the countdown inevitably. He saves me, first of all, so I don't have to remember it myself. And second of all, he is Mr. Excitement
109 days, Matt.
Woohoo! Cannot wait. Almost in the double digits. I'm looking. That's going to be a great day. Ooh.
And I heard you mention, you said you've pretty much met everybody that you've currently spoken to. Well, I guess I'm number 2 now because we've never met yet, other than actually the first time we were talking actually in person.
Yeah,
so,
well,
it's been all texting. Absolutely.
Cool. What's your Ron? What's your tip that you can share with a first-time cruiser?
First-time cruiser is, if you have any inkling of wanting to go on a cruise, YOLO, book it. As soon as possible, when you see the current listing of cruising coming out, if it starts showing that it's cruises available for 2019 and you think you might want to go, book it. You get your choice of the room you really want. When I first started cruising, it'd be a case where I would have a room, and I'd say, gee, I really have this is really a nice balcony or a nice junior suite. But you know what? Look at this one on this floor, on this deck. This is so much nicer. And I like it being on the starboard side instead of the port side. So if you book early, you get your pick of the best chance of getting the pick of the room you really want. And by booking early, you're giving yourself all that much more time to pay it off. It's not like it's a massive bill that comes up all at once, like immediately, bam. I mean, you can easily pay a thing off over, 18, 20, 24 months. It's just so much easier to cruise, and as long as you cancel before 90 days, you can get your money back. So it's really, it's the easiest way to book, to have something out there waiting for, something to look forward to.
Absolutely. I think it's a great tip. I mean, first of all, you kind of combine 2 in 1, which is great. First of all, if you're thinking about it, if it's on your radar, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't taken a cruise and you're thinking about it, you should do it. Just bottom line, don't hesitate on that part. But also, book it as early as you can, because I think people forget also that you can make payments in advance. So that way you don't have to wait for final payment date. Again, a travel agent makes it so easy because you could set up a payment schedule with them, right? You could say, pay me, let's charge me $20 a week or $100 a month or whatever works for you. So that way you can help make sure that, you can afford it. Makes it a little bit easier to digest. And I think that's a great point, Ron, in terms of folks who are going to try their first cruise. Book it in advance. Book it as far in advance as you can. That's definitely a great way, not only to get the room you want, but get a great price and make it more affordable for you.
Very good, Matt. I totally agree. I was always a little skeptical. Actually, I didn't start. Most of the people that you're speaking to, they've been cruising for 27 some years or so. I did not start cruising until my daughter was graduating from college. It was I told her, if you can get out of college, I'll take you on a cruise. So we really didn't go on a cruise until our first one was like 2009, I believe it was. So it's been I was already 59 years old when I went on my first cruise. So I've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm at my age, I ain't going to make Pinnacle, but I'm sure as heck have Diamond Plus on radar.
You could do it. I got faith in you, Ron.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you, Matt. Matt, I appreciate everything you do. You keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very good. All right, let's keep things rolling with our next caller. Here we go. Hello, you are live on a Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. Who are we speaking with? Did we lose the person? Hello? Hello? Oh, they'll call back. It's okay. The dessert just popped out of the oven. Is that a thing? Dessert popping out of the oven? I don't know. But nonetheless, our phone number again, 352-578-1724. I think they're back for seconds now. Dessert can wait. And we have our caller on the line. Hi, who are we speaking with?
Hey, Matt, it's Christy from Texas. Congratulations on 200 episodes. Hey, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. We had you, of course, on the podcast a couple times, and I appreciate you joining us here to talk a little Royal Caribbean together.
Yeah, my kid's about to have a meltdown, so you get to hear that too. Baby, we're
That's what always happens. As soon as I go on, the kids start crying.
So I haven't been able to listen, so I don't know what are we talking about. Anything good?
We are sharing our best tips for first-time cruisers, someone who's never gone before.
Don't be afraid to cruise with small children. That's my number one tip.
There you go.
And book something before.
You know what? Those haven't been used before, but you're absolutely right. It's a great tip. A lot of times people say, how old should my kid be before we go on a cruise? And I'm like,
6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Take them with you. It's a great experience. They'll love it. You'll love it. And I mean, back in my day, we had to suffer with them all the time because there was no nursery. Now we get a little bit of a break, and they get a break, and it's win-win. It's amazing how far Royal Caribbean has come with their children's programmings over the last couple of years.
The nursery's great.
Yep, and Christy and
Great
I talked
vacation
about
for everyone.
That's right, bringing kids on and using the nursery, and it still holds up. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing. So could not agree with you more, Christy. Bring those kids, get them. It's just like the tobacco industry. Start them while they're young.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So, okay, well, I just wanted to call and say congratulations,
Thank you.
and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Christy. Appreciate it. Alrighty, let's keep things rolling. Another call on the line. Man, I love this. I love getting a chance to talk Royal Caribbean with people live, not just reading emails, which is nice too. But we have our next caller on the line. Hi, you're live on the Royal Caribbean Blog Podcast. Who are we speaking with?
Matt! It's Sarah.
Sarah, what is going
Hi.
on?
Just calling from my igloo.
From your igloo, where it's snowing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We had sun again today. Isn't that amazing? Sun and snow.
Sun and snow in Canada. Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm actually glad to see the end of the snow, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So, Sarah, I think I stole probably your best tip, which is use a travel agent, because Sarah is a travel agent herself. But what is another tip that you can share with us for first-time cruiser?
My biggest thing what I found the biggest thing is travel with people with like interests or a group of people that you can kind of spread out and do your own thing. I find that if you go with just one person or somebody that you're not completely compatible with, that you can end up doing stuff that you might not want to do, to kind of compromise. But I find that if you go with a group of people or somebody that you know in advance that you're going to want to do this, you're going to want to do this, so that you kind of have a plan so that you don't miss out on stuff you want to do.
I think it's a great tip. I mean, that's kind of the idea also. Sorry, it's a shameless plug, but the group cruises that we do here at Royal Caribbean,
I know.
it just backs up your point, which is that everything is better with friends. Everything is better with the more friends you can involve with you, the better it is. And I agree, cruising really lends itself to being a group experience, perhaps even more so than going to the beach somewhere like on a land vacation or whatever it is you people in Canada do in your igloos from time to time. But, having, when you have friends on a cruise ship, there's something about it that's a little more communal to it. And I think, and it's great because you can do your own thing and you can do things together, but they're not necessarily have to be all at once. You can kind of take it as you please. And I think it's just wonderful for that. So you get to share in the cool stuff and it's, but still have a little bit of independence along with it.
Exactly. We traveled last time. I think there was 10 of us in total. So I don't think all 10 of us hung out at the same time at any given point. But sure. I'd be off with one group one part of the day and another one. Say we want to catch a comedy show, then you want to listen to some music. And excursions are a big thing too, because not everybody's going to be able to do the same excursions or want to do the same excursions necessarily. So it's a big thing. Make sure you know in advance that you're going to be able to enjoy the cruise itself and what's on the cruise with the person you're going with.
Heck yeah. That's a great tip. I think that's wonderful, and certainly seeking out groups or just meeting. Even I'll take it one step further, Sarah, and say, you're going on a cruise. Maybe it's just you and your spouse, right? Okay. Because, you try to corral your parents and your in-laws and your second cousins. No one wanted to go with you or couldn't go with you, whatever the case may be. But to that point, start meeting people online, right? That's what's so great about Facebook. There are groups for every single sailing, literally. Just type in your ship's name plus the date on Facebook. Inevitably, you're going to find a group on there. Find those people, connect with those people. You never know. Maybe they'll become lifelong friends. We had Brian on earlier, and he was talking about a couple that they met on a celebrity cruise. Now they're going on another cruise with them. You never know. So it's about the more you can engage with other folks and get in with other groups, it's only to your advantage.
And the more people you go, a lot of times, if people don't know this, if you have, say, a group of, even 16 people, or even a lot of people anyway, but I know 16 people, I think you can actually get a group rate for just your group then. A lot of times if you ask your travel agent if there is a group rate for how many people for that cruise line, and they can tell you how many rooms you need and how much, based on the occupancy, and you might get a better rate just based on the fact that you have so many people or extra perks or anything. And, that's always the benefit is that as well.
Absolutely. It's a great tip. Sarah, thank you so much for calling in with this. This is great. I love it.
Yeah, and hopefully one day I'll join your group cruise if I ever get out of here.
Well, when the ice thaws, I hope that you'll be able to join us as well.
Yeah, I'll have, or maybe I'll just hop on an iceberg and like start paddling across my island.
Whatever it is you people do up there, sure. Let the baby seals pull you back to shore. I like it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Thanks.
All right. Talk to you later.
Awesome. Well, we got time for, believe it or not, we've already hit an hour here talking Royal Caribbean tips. These are wonderful, by the way. Really, really good. There are a couple of those I just wanted to add on here that we just haven't talked about. I think they are important for first-time cruisers. Number one, read the Cruise Compass every day. The Cruise Compass is that little newspaper that comes delivered to your stateroom. It is obviously complimentary. It's not just ads. There are some ads in there, but it's a great indication of what's happening on board. The number one mistake I always make, I don't say mistake, but the regret I have, there you go. The number one regret I always have about a cruise is I didn't know that certain something was happening at a certain time, and I wish I could have done that. The Cruise Compass is your way around that problem. So it'll let you know in advance. That evening, you get it for the next day, right? So I love sitting in bed, reading the Cruise Compass, and seeing what's happening on the ship later on. Maybe it's an event, maybe it's a tasting, maybe it's I don't know what, a party. But read the Cruise Compass. That's a really important one, and it's an easy one. Bring a highlighter. Some people like doing that, so that way you can even highlight so you can remember the events that are happening, because you remember it. You're reading at 11 o'clock at night one night, and you go the next morning, and it's like, oh, I completely forgot which events I was looking for. And you're not going to inevitably kind of maybe overlook it, but doing that can definitely help you a lot. So reading the Cruise Compass. If you got kids, Christy and I were talking about this just earlier about the Adventure Ocean, the wonderful things about them. Sign your kids up for Adventure Ocean on the first day. They can take sign-ups throughout the cruise, but it's like the first day of school, right? You want your kids to be indoctrinated. You want them to get to meet friends. It's easier on day one because everybody is new on day one. By day two, cliques and all that have already occurred and friends have been made. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little more intimidating, perhaps. And so that's why I recommend getting your kids signed up on day one. Go on embarkation day. Get them all signed up, because obviously nowadays they start doing Adventure Ocean on the first day. It used to not be a thing, but now it is a thing. So definitely check that one out. And then make reservations for specialty restaurants. I think that's a good one as well. We talked a little bit about that in terms of entertainment and booking that. But if you can, book if you've got an anniversary, a wedding, you're getting married, a birthday, a special occasion, whatever. If there's a certain day that you want to enjoy something, book it in advance. Lock in that time so that way you know that. And then I will also say that one more about food. It's always got to be about food at the end, right? And I will say there will always be something to eat at any time, okay? Believe it or not, there are people, especially first-time cruisers, who wonder, will there be enough to eat on them? Will I be hungry? What do I do? There's plenty of food on board, lots of food, overwhelming amount of food on board, and there's always something, and the Cruise Compass will be your good guide as to figuring out what's available when, but keep in mind that you've got options out there, and explore those options. And I know it's very easy to just be doing main dining room, the Windjammer, and repeat. But break out there. See, you know what? What's that Mini Bites on the top deck of Harmony? Or, Compass Deli on Majesty of the Seas. Let me check that one out, right? Check them out. What's the worst that happens? It's terrible. All right, you go down to Sorrento's Pizza and you get some pizza and forget all about it, right? That's the worst thing that can happen in your cruise, and that's a pretty good thing. So, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this episode 200 live special. I know obviously this. First of all, we talked about tips for first-time cruisers, which was great. I learned some good things here, and so I think everyone here listening to this will have learned some really good tips as a first-time cruiser. Maybe just someone who's kind of new to cruising. Maybe you've already been on a cruise, but these might help be a good refresher as to what to know in advance. And once again, thank you for being a part of this episode. Swhether you're listening to this episode as episode 200 comes out, or maybe we're way off in the future in your Jetsons car and you're flying around to Sprockets, wherever George Jetson used to work, and you're listening to this podcast on your iPhone 27. I appreciate you hanging out with us and talking Royal Caribbean together. It really does mean a lot, and to be able to celebrate with all of you, especially the Royal Caribbean Blog Insiders, man, that's such a great feeling. And it's honestly, the fact that this goes back to 2013 just boggles my mind. I can't believe that's really how far it goes back, but I am so looking forward to the next adventures that we've got on here, whether it's going to be on this podcast episodes, whether they're going to be on Royal Caribbean Blog group cruises, or just discovering together what the future holds for Royal Caribbean Cruises, new ships, new itineraries, new onboard options, everything in between. I can't wait, and I'm so glad you're joining us for it right here on the podcast. So until next time, I'm Matt Hochberg, and we'll talk again soon. That was great. Now I gotta save it. Ugh, I just realized I gotta edit this tonight. Ugh. Save. Because if it doesn't save, we gotta do this whole episode over again. Guys, thank you for. I was reading everybody's comments in the chat here. Very good stuff. Really, really appreciate it. I saw a lot of people making fun of Brandon and Big Dog Ron. Don't hit delete. I'm trying. No, it's saving. 2 seconds, 1 second. Hey, it's saved. Yay. Yes, that's an extra long episode for all of you guys. It'll come out tomorrow, obviously, on the podcast feed. You guys already heard it already, but it'll be coming out. Thank you so much for the calls. It was wonderful. Sometimes, I do this and I had all these tips lined up. It's like, what if nobody calls? What if it's just me and Wilson talking to each other for an hour, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But it was great. Perfect timing. And thank you for being a part of it again. I'm actually, believe it or not, it's Tuesday, so I'm going to go do a Facebook Live here in a couple of minutes after I get something to drink, and my back is hurting me for some reason, so I'm going to sit down for a second. But I know I'm already sitting down. You know what I mean. Anyway, we'll be on Facebook Live here in a little bit, so appreciate you all hanging out with us. And I said in the podcast, but it is 130,000% true, as my daughter would say. It is because of you guys we're still doing this podcast, and thank you for your support, whether you're just hanging out in chat, calling in, coming on a group cruise, or just posting a comment on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com about an episode. It really does mean a difference to me. It's just someone's listening, someone cares, and that's the cool thing about it. So thank you for being a part of it from start to finish. Really love that, and I'm so glad we could share this. I'm so glad we did this live show here, and I just thought it was perfect. I thought, it's a little way to give back to you guys, but also it gave back to me, because being able to do this live on here, that's the best. I'm pretty happy about how this went. Great calls all around. All right, I'm gonna take a little break, and then we'll be on Facebook Live here in about 10-15 minutes or so. So, guys, Jill says you're so cool. You're cool, Jill, but thanks for hanging out with us here. Guys, we'll talk to you, probably many of you on Facebook here in a little bit, but talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Now, how do I end this thing? I think I have to go back up here. All right, bye, everyone.